Hello, everyone. This is me again, Alicia at Unapologetically You. And I did a little short earlier today, and yes, I did kind of in the short explain that I will be kind of changing my show up a little bit. And by saying that, part of what I started was, I went into my um, phone, uh, into my channel on my phone, and I'm playing my best app game here, trying to build up some coin. I'm actually thinking about maybe trying to get another blonde wig back to match my natural white old lady hair, which is not really gray anymore. It's like when some of them ladies you see when they go gray, their hair starts to get like white, so it looks almost like that platinum blonde white. My mom has it, and I take after her a lot as her firstborn daughter. And which, by the way, my mom the other day, I woke up and I felt like I was in a good mood, but there was a part of me that was feeling, I guess, probably down a little bit without realizing it right away until I read my mom's text and she sent me a it's lyrics to a song she found, um my baby girl, and it talks about, how much she always loved her firstborn and stuff. And um kind of want to read it right now. I was debating, because when I read it the first time, I cried. But I was laughing and crying and smiling at the same time. But wasn't like a sad cry, or like funny ha ha laugh. It was more of a tears of joy, happy type crying, smiling, and laugh. And so it pulls out of this, and I'm going to pull it up because I saved it in here. My mom, she's pretty awesome. I couldn't ask for a better mom. I got really lucky to have a mom like her. Okay, so here it is. Let me get to the top. And, oh, excuse me. It's called My Little Light. Excuse me. Verse 1. The day you came into this world, the stars seemed brighter in the sky. You filled my heart with endless love, a dream I never knew could fly. Pre chorus. Through every laugh and every tear, and through every season, every year, you'll always find me standing near. Chorus. You are my little light, my shining star, perfect exactly the way you are. When the road is long and the night feels cold, remember you are brave. Remember you are bold. And I am very, no matter how big this world may be, you'll always be a precious part of me. Verse 2. I've watched you grow with every day, learning how to spread your wings. And though someday you'll soar away, you'll carry all the love life brings. Pre chorus. And when you are strong and when you are scared, I hope you'll always know I cared with a love beyond compare. You are my little light, my shining star. Perfect exactly the way you are. When the road is long and the night feels cold, remember you are brave. Remember you are bold. No matter no matter how big this world may be, you'll always be a precious part of me. And if you stumble, if you fall, I'll be cheering through it all. The world is yours to dream and see, but you'll forever be my melody. Sorry, it's the final chorus. You are my little light, my shining star. Oh, it's getting hard to see. Perfect exactly the way you are. May your heart stay kind. May your spirit soar. May you find the things you are looking for. No matter where your journey leads, my love will be the song you need. You were never an outcast in our hearts. Different in your feelings, maybe, but not an outcast. Oh, I'm sorry. It was very emotional for me. And it, it's tears of joy, of course, but it really touched me when I read it. And I was not expecting that. I said to her, I said, Mom, why you gotta make me cry? And she said, I'm on a roll, I guess, lol. Just need you to know we don't always say what's on our minds. Gotta love me, she says with funny faces. And I laughed and said, Yes, I love you guys. Oh, sorry. But yeah, that is very emotional for me, but in a happy, joyful, tearful way. Um, sorry. But my mom is awesome. Thank you, Mom. You made me cry again. I was trying to hold it back and thought I'd make it through the whole thing. I couldn't hold it back, but at least I held back some of it because the first time I read it, I was bawling so bad that water just works off my face. But I really did my best to hold it back this time. So, yeah, sometimes we forget what we have. And so I try to always never forget where I came from, what I have, and what I've had. And sometimes there are times where, something will cloud that for me. But I always try to, you know, remember at some point to pull myself back. So don't forget where you came from. Not all of us are lucky to be born into such, good family. And I always felt like an outcast because of the way I got picked on so bad growing up as a child. And nobody really knew what was going on in, my trauma, you know, that happened to me. And is some people think, well, why doesn't that person speak up, or why, they should speak up? What? But it's not always easy for some people. Sometimes some things for some people are easier said than done, and you know, it's just not that easy for some people, and it was never easy for me either. And it took years for me to speak up and finally talk about things, and I wish I had done it sooner. And I could have avoided all the rage more, I think, if I had. I like to think so. I could have changed a lot of things if I had come forward sooner. But at least I've learned from my mistakes, and that's important to learn from your mistakes. And we're human, okay? We're not perfect. And anything non human is not perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. And people misread things a lot, not just other people, but things as well, like what somebody might say or what they're, the meaning of something. Everybody's got their opinions, and you know what they say about opinions. Everybody's got one, and I'll leave out the rest. But it's true. And I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking about my son. And when I was 6 months pregnant, and I remember guy I was dating at the time, he wasn't the father. The father didn't want anything to do with his son. When I told him I was pregnant, Cody's father picked me up and tried to convince me to let him take me to a clinic, and he wanted to pay for an abortion, and I said no. And I stuck to my guns on that because I don't believe in abortion. I don't judge other people's decisions. It's not my place. But as far as I go, no, I would never, never. To me, that's no different than murdering somebody. I don't care if it's not formed yet or not. It's still a child, a person, a human being. So for me personally, no, I wouldn't do it. And he got angry. And he told me flat out before he kicked me out of the truck. He said, if you don't go through with this, then don't expect me to acknowledge or admit that I ever had anything to do with you. He was the popular football kid, guy on the team in high school. He was that popular quarterback, and I wasn't in the popular crowd. I was in the middle class. We had your nerd in my day. I don't know about the kids now, but in my day, in high school and junior high, grade school, all that, you had your nerds, you had your stoners and part of your, you know, middle class, and then you had your popular cheerleaders, football players, that ran the school. And middle where I was in the middle. I hung out with, the stoners, and I'm not saying to anybody that I'm not condoning it like it's a good thing, but I'm not going to say it's a bad thing either because it is legal now. It's completely okay with people now, and you can, you know, you're free to do that. Just like alcohol, it was not legal for years till they made it legal. But so I'm not talking about anything illegal, but I'm not telling people, it's so okay to just do shit, excuse my language. Anyways, before I confuse anybody on what I'm saying about that, I am not against it either because it does help a lot of people, cancer patients. I was a cancer patient at 20. I was diagnosed with cancer and I survived that after I had my son. So I don't, condone. But yeah, so anyways, he said that if I said a word to anybody about him being the father, which we knew for sure he was, I was not a promiscuous girl. I hadn't slept with anyone. I wasn't like that. People tried to say afterwards when I opened my mouth to my best friend, who promised to keep her mouth shut, and she did not, and ran her mouth, and word got around, and that's when my name started getting trashed all over school, all over town I lived in. It was horrible. And but he was an asshole. I don't know, but he really did destroy my life. And he wanted nothing he wouldn't admit to it. He made me look like a liar because he was the popular guy in school. Everybody believed him. And I wasn't the popular one. So Cody never knew his dad. And I apologize for saying your name, son, out loud. I should have thought about that. But nobody knows who you are, anyways, hopefully. Um, but I got lucky because he turned out to be a really good kid, and I'm so proud of him. I really am. It's funny. I think back to I was 19 when I had him, 2 weeks before I turned 20. And then I was diagnosed after I had him when I went in for my checkup, PAP and everything, with cancer, cervical cancer. And the doctors had said they had to, act immediately. It was spreading rapidly. It was a rapid spreading cancer, is what the doctor called it, a very rapid spreading cancer, which eventually spread to my uterus. And I had to have a partial hysterectomy at a young age after only having one child. It was only under certain circumstances that they would do that type of surgery. And that was a circumstance for me. But so I survived it though. I did. They tried treatments first. And most of my aunts, my uncles on my mom's and my dad's side all died of some type of different cancer, from cervical to colon to breast cancer, you name it. And then I recently, a few months ago, had probably 6 months ago now, maybe, I had another cancer scare. They found a lump in my left breast and had to cut me, open. They had to remove it. Turns out it was benign, or yeah, whatever the non-cancer one is. It was non-cancer, so thank God for that. I had already gone through cancer once and survived it. I got lucky this time that this time it wasn't cancerous. But I mean, that just shows how strong a person I am too. That's just a little another part of me. I've survived a lot of things. But back to what I was saying, I got a little sidetracked. When I was 6 months, I think I was 6 months pregnant with Cody, um, I was dating this guy who was not his dad. And he was just crazy. I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know what happened, but I had laid down. We were staying in this little, it wasn't really a trailer. It was kind of like one of those, I don't know if everybody, age group, but this was those old round, like silver camper type things on wheels. It was kind of almost like a size of a trailer, but not quite. And we were renting it, living in it. I laid down in the bedroom. I was home alone. I laid down. I was tired. 6 months pregnant, I was tired. I laid down, take a nap. When I don't know what made me wake up, but I just felt something. Even though I was sleeping, I felt something come over me. And I opened my eyes. And I remember he had a double barrel shotgun right here. it wasn't, the feeling of it that woke me up, but something made me open my eyes. And when I just these thoughts just started going through my head, like, okay, Alicia, thinking quietly to myself, but quickly, you got to say something, get out of this. You're pregnant. You cannot let him kill you if that's what he wants to do. And I don't know how I did it, and I don't even remember now exactly what I said way back then. But I said whatever I had to say to get him just long enough to move that gun away from my head. And I remember jumping up, running out of that fucking camp just as fast as I could, got in my car and just left, took off. Um, and I never went back to him ever again. I remember going back to my mom's and stayed with her again for a while. Um, she was with me through the whole pregnancy. She really was a good mom in every way. Really, I got lucky. I'm not bragging. I'm being serious, and I was lucky, and I feel bad for those who didn't have that. But you know, I just pray every day and thank God that I have the mom I have. But yeah, she was with me when I was in labor. She was with me through the birth, everything. You know, my stepfather calling me every 5 minutes. Did she have it yet? Did she have it yet? It was like, no, not yet. I'll call you when she does. But I think he was just as excited to be a grandpa. Yeah, he was a good kid, though. I turned out to get lucky. You know how your parents say to you, one day you're gonna have a kid just as bad as you. You'll see what you put me through. They give you that mom curse, I call it. You're gonna have a kid just like you one day. Well, I got lucky because he turned out to be a good kid. He wasn't as rebellious and wild as I was. And if he was sneakier about it. Yeah, he's pretty quiet, but he's a good kid. Very proud of him. And he is helping me with learning more about the computer and stuff. So I thank him very much for that. And it gives us something that we can do together too, as you know. So, I don't know. Sometimes I just sit here because I do have a lot of time to myself besides my girls, which anybody doesn't know who my girls are. It's my dogs. I two German shepherds that hate each other and want to kill each other every second. So we have to keep them separate and take a lot of precautions because the last encounter a year ago, like I've said in one of my other videos, was not good. It was a bloodbath. It was horrible. We had to take them both to the vet. Um, I was devastated. It like traumatized me. I was terrified that it was going to happen again. But we've taken every precaution since then, so we keep them separated very well, very carefully. Communication has got to be key with these two, so that that accident of them ending up face to face doesn't happen again when one of us leaves the room or whatever. So yeah, but I got so much time to just sit here and think sometimes. So when I'm not playing my games or watching my movies or something or doing my videos, I I don't know, certain things like that will pop in my head, and I just think about how much stronger it's made me and how much I have survived. I mean, my first husband wasn't much better than the guy I just told you about, and I don't remember his name. I wouldn't say his name anyway. Um, I'm not like that. I don't just out somebody's name like that. Um, not unless I have damn good reason. And it's that many years ago. I just don't see the point now. But Cody's father, his actual father, asshole that he was, excuse my language, he was he drank a lot back then and continued to be an alcoholic, I guess, through his adult years, and his karma, that was his karma, because it killed him, destroyed his liver, and he I saw in the newspaper one day, um Cody was just a teenager. I think he was 17, maybe 18. I'm not sure. I read in the newspaper that his father, I saw his father's name, had passed away from liver failure from alcoholism. So I look at that as karma for what he did to me, and especially his son, um, and just all the wrong things he did. I mean, did not treat women very nicely. I don't know why I guess I had such a big crush on him growing up as a young girl, because he was the popular boy. He was cute, he was hot, all the girls liked him. And I just happened to be at a party that he was at one weekend, and I thought he liked me. One thing led to another, and it was just drunken stupidness. So, think before you act. And that was one thing a lot of us young people don't do when we're young. I didn't. But none of my videos are for kids, by the way. And I have changed that setting to the more advanced, for adults only. And I've said it before, and I will say it again as many times as I feel I need to make sure my point is across. I don't say anything I don't mean. So when I say I don't mean to insult anyone on purpose or anything, and I apologize ahead of time in case I do. And if I have, comment, tell me. I will apologize again, because I don't, this isn't the point of this show. This point of my channel is not just to talk about my life and to show people that, you're not so different and you're not an outcast. You are beautiful inside and out. Don't let people judge you. Love yourself. Screw all the haters, okay? It's not worth worrying about them. This is to just let people know, be yourself, you know? Don't let people define who you are. You define you. And that's it, you know? And I'm not meaning that towards, you know, bad people that intentionally want. I'm talking about us good people who have been judged and misjudged and wronged and hurt and put down and bullied and made fun of and felt outcast and just all that. You're strong, you're beautiful. You don't deserve that. So I hope I don't confuse anybody. If I do, please, there's no stupid or wrong questions or nothing. You need to ask me. Because I don't just say that. A lot of people say what I'm saying, but then when it comes down to it, their actions don't mean it. Well, I get that there's a lot of people in this world like that, but you got to give somebody the benefit of the doubt for the first time, especially when you don't know for sure. And I will prove to you, my actions will back up what I'm saying. Always. Can't stand fake people. I can't stand lying. I can't stand thief. I can't stand cheating. I mean, I don't know. I just think we hurt each other too much in this world and it needs to stop. And I know I'm one person, I can't fix the world, but I am very blunt and outspoken. And if I see something wrong or hear something I feel is wrong or whatever, I'm going to make a point to say something. I was an abused child, I was an abused wife, friend, you know, stabbed in the back by many. That's why I keep my circle very, very small. And I don't really keep a lot of close friends, if any, except for certain family members like my son and my mom and my ex, who I live with still and his friends. First one I've ever been friends with. That's the first for me. It's first time for everything. You know, don't knock things till you try it. Don't judge any book by its cover or any that goes for anyone, anything, you know. And yes, I am a witch, and that's the first time I've actually come out and said it like that, I think, that I can remember. I don't really talk about that, but I'm starting to realize that this is an age where it is okay, to say that. Hey, ooh, that was my eardrum, girl. That was Shiloh, by the way. One of my girls. But she's getting excited. Daddy just pulled in on his motorcycle. That's my ex. So, yeah, he has three motorcycles. Sometimes he takes me ride on the back. I love it. Oh, I want to get my motorcycle license and learn how to ride my own bike. I really would love to. I love it. Just the wind in your hair, your face, the freedom. It's just, oh, I love it. Good feeling. Good way to forget your feelings of ill and just feel good. Feel like a bird or an eagle flying. I just love it. So I'm going to go because she's going to set the back a lot more than that soon. But I'll talk to y'all soon and continue the rest of what I wanted to talk about.